But let me first walk you through my story with chronic back pain to give you an example of how these therapies can be long lasting and how most of the time they're not really wearing off. So for those of you who don't know, I herniated 2 discs in my lower back about 10-ish years ago. I was in a car accident, was then doing some heavy squat and some training because I was still a track and field athlete at that time. And I herniated my L4-5 and my L5-S1 discs. And so with that, I started to develop chronic pain, and that chronic pain lasted for about 2 years. At that time, I thankfully underwent my first PRP injection, which is actually why I do all this stuff today. I had PRP injected into a lower trapezius tear and my iliolumbar ligament. The physician that I was working with determined and believed that those were contributing to why I was still having chronic pain. Fast forward 3 months and I was basically pain-free. I was back in the gym, I was squatting, I was running, I was doing all the things that I wanted to do. It was the first time in 2 years that I finally had some pain relief. And it wasn't for lack of trying. I had done physical therapy, I had done some medications, I had done a lot of supplements, I was doing things. However, it just wasn't enough and I was still struggling with pain tying my shoes, pain sitting for long periods of time, pain standing for long periods of time, all of these things. And so PRP injections got me out of that hole and got me to a place where I was back doing the things that I wanted to do. Unfortunately, I was in the gym. This was probably after about, I think, we'll call it 3 to 6 months after the PRP injection, and I re-injured it in the gym. I was doing a flexion-based activity, bending down, doing a deadlift or a squat, I don't fully remember, but I felt a small tweak in my back again, and now I was back in the chronic pain cycle where I couldn't get comfortable, I was having continual pain. And so because I knew what had worked for me in the past, which was PRP injections, I went back, saw a new provider because I was in a different area than where I was before, new provider, and had some palpation guided prolotherapy, PRP, and ozone injections. If I recall correctly, I had about 3 of those, and now I was back to being pain-free. I was able to sit in class in med school without having to squirm around in my chair because my back was irritating me and aggravating me. I didn't have to get up and go for walks in order to keep the blood flow moving and all that type of stuff. So I was back to a place where I was able to not have that chronic pain. Unfortunately, several months later, I was sideswiped on the highway. So driving down the highway, big accident happened. This car starts spinning out and sideswipes me on the highway, and that re-aggravates and re-injures my pain. I'm now back in the cycle again. But notice that both these times, it's not like the injections wore off.